Hello and welcome to the MHR podcast. I'm Andy.
I'm Alice.
Alice, we're on week 49 of a 50-week run of this year's MHR podcast.
On the home run.
We are on the home run, and as we edge our way into December, we are going to celebrate Christmas, right? We are going to celebrate it, and we will have fun. You will enjoy it, I promise.
Thank you.
Good. So for those of you who are watching us this year, you'll be able to see that actually we've decorated the studio in a kind of a Christmas front room kind of feel to make it feel a bit more festive,
yes,
isn't it?
Absolutely.
Right. So obviously it's a nice festive time of the year. There's lots of considerations around Christmas, right? Lots of people are taking annual leave.
Yes.
Right, a lot of businesses shut down over Christmas, but there's lots of transitions, isn't there, around Christmas? A lot of people, December can be quite disruptive. There's lots of things to consider. There's obviously lots of social events as well. So it's probably a good thing for us to talk about, isn't it, this week?
Yes, and like you say, there's a lot of things to consider, and I think especially for businesses, a few challenges along the way. And
a challenge for us to do next week, because we'll have had our Christmas party, and we might not be in any state to talk about it. So probably best we talk about it now.
I think that sounds good.
So how are we going to cover Christmas? What are we going to talk about?
So this week I thought that we'd talk about 6 Christmas HR challenges.
Okay.
And how to manage them.
Okay.
So like you just mentioned, that Christmas party. So the perils of an office Christmas party. I think we can all think of ideas that spring to mind with that.
There's a lot of stereotypes, isn't there, and connotations. But this is our challenge one. Okay, how do businesses navigate the social expectation and pitfalls of organising a Christmas do?
Yes, and not leaving anyone out.
Well, that's an interesting one, isn't it? Of course, because we've talked about this in previous episodes, where different employees of different expectations may have a different want or a need for like a social event. For some people, it's an amazing thing, and they come to work and they want to go, yeah, you know why I love coming here? Because we all go out and we all celebrate this, and we're a nice little family or a nice little social unit. Some people are like, you know what, I can't think of anything worse. Please don't invite me. That's not what I'm about. I don't like the forced fun. I feel really socially awkward. I'd rather talk to you remotely. Goodbye. So there are those things to navigate, right?
Yeah.
But I suppose what you're hinting at as well is that there's a lot of HR challenges towards all this stuff. Apart from just inclusion, you've got here like end-of-year parties are a great way to reward employees and allow them to let off steam, which is always the nice kind of phrase that's used at the start of the HR case. He was just letting off steam. But it's a great way for allow teams to socialise and build good relations. However, it can carry on the risks that need to be managed.
Yeah.
Moderation is key.
Yeah.
Is the one I'm bringing to mind here.
Definitely. But I guess it does fall in the realm of HR, isn't it? It is their responsibility, which is, I guess in some ways it's their responsibility to communicate.
Yeah.
You know, to be quite balanced in the way that they approach Christmas parties. I know that for everyone that's probably in the office, it's very obvious if conversations are going on. But I read up on a blog, and they said, you know, think about people on maternity or paternity leave that may be due back in the new year that might want to find out what's going on. And like you say, kind of get together, socialise, enjoy an evening together. But, no, not at the expense of...
Yeah, absolutely. And there are people that can feel excluded for multiple reasons. Like, say you've got a colleague on maternity leave, and maybe one of their check-in days they want to use it to come into office the day they're doing maybe Christmas celebrations or they're having a social night. It's a great way, especially if you've got a diverse workforce, to go, okay, stop everything. We're having a social occasion. Let's come together. We don't often get this chance because we're always talking through Teams or Zoom or whatever, right? So that's, depending on your company size, that can be a really good thing. Some businesses, obviously, as well, if you're a smaller, they might just do one party. Some businesses might do like, okay, every department or whatever, every team have got their own incentives. You go and do what you like socially. It's up to you. We're not going to say what you can do. But I do think, like you say, it falls into that HR responsibility of going, if our people are out there in the world and they're celebrating in whatever way they want, let's just make sure we communicate to them what we expect of them as they represent the business in lots of different environments.
Yeah.
Now, we're making a lot of assumptions here that Christmas parties are all booze-led celebrations in a public space.
We've seen the Christmas party film, the office Christmas party.
And they're not all like that, of course. They might just be activities. But I do think where you have your employees out of a normal, typical business's work environment, you probably need to make sure that you as a company are communicating your expectations of how to be in that environment and what the business is wanting from them in that time. Yeah, because it could be paid time, right? Yeah.
But speaking actually of wanting, I read an interesting stat. So apparently 3 in 5 of those aged 16 to 34, so our age group, they would actually favour But they would favour contributing to a chosen charity rather than having a Christmas party.
Interesting. That's quite interesting to know. I suppose as well, depending on what company you work for and how they align their values and their work with charity and like charitable giving. It might be that you're like, you know what? I'd rather not waste £30 on a kind of Christmas package at a bar. Actually, I'd rather use that money to go towards a good cause that I care about.
Yeah, it's quite a nice idea. And like I say, charities come up a lot. I know that there's a fair few in the East Midlands, like the Gem for Present Giving. But like you say, it's all down to the company, their values, and if Christmas is something they want to celebrate on a big scale, small scale, it's what fits them, isn't it? What suits and what employees are wanting.
Yeah.
So the second one is about Secret Santa.
Oh, are you in a Secret Santa this year?
I am, yes, with friends.
Who have you got? You can't say.
Can't
it's fine.
say.
All right. Then. But with friends, you're not doing it with work colleagues.
No, I'm not. Have you got a Secret Santa?
There is a
this year?
Secret Santa that I'm involved with, and it's got to end this week, so I've got to make sure I'm on top of that. But I think it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because it always splits a room. Everyone's like, oh, I don't want to do this, and then everyone else is like, yeah, this is going to be great. I'm in the camp of I want to do it because I want to do the weirdest, strangest gift I could find someone and
Where
freak
do you
them
go
out.
and find them?
I don't know. It depends who I've got.
Right.
But that in itself can lead to some HR issues.
It can.
Not that I've ever crossed that line, but you've put here, it can be lots of fun, and an inappropriate gift may leave an employee embarrassed or offended, possibly both.
Yeah.
So it is important to set some parameters around this. We do it. I think there's like loads of companies out there. You're like, oh, sign up, put all your colleagues' name in, and we'll randomise it for you. And you can set like a budget, and you can set expectations of what to get. So I think we did like, don't spend more than £10. And be creative, think about that person's role. It's a nice way to understand more about how people work as well, I guess. But it should definitely be optional, not mandatory.
Yes.
Nothing says forced fun like please sign up and spend money on this so we can all have a laugh.
Here's what I want. Here's my list.
Yeah.
Very much so.
But yeah.
But no, like you say, it can be fun, isn't it? It's a fun activity to do, and it is an opportunity to get to know maybe a colleague that you haven't worked with through that year, and to lean after sneakily find out what sort of hobbies they have, or are they into cooking, things like that. But like you say, there are parameters that should be kept, and probably that's kind of the standard that HR should be setting, that appreciate the fun. Just don't take it too far.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can wind people up to a limit. I think on mine, you can add a wish list, and I put peace on earth and a monster truck.
Love it.
Yeah, it's like none of those are within a £10 budget, but good luck.
Well, you never know.
Yeah. The third one you've got here, so one of the third challenges HR may face during the festive period are festive hangovers and absence pain. So, and maybe an overindulgence during the festive period, whether it's work party related or not, clearly has an impact on paid time and how people are taking absences.
Very much so.
Okay.
We've seen it all before, haven't we?
I don't know. I couldn't possibly comment.
Can't relate to that.
So you're saying again, HR are in a place where we know you're out celebrating. It may be you're doing it with alcohol. You might not be. But if you're all taking extra time out or burning the candle on both ends to celebrate in whatever way you want to do, there are some clear communications that should be expressed during the festive period to make sure the business can continue to operate as normal because you're feeling delicate. If the thought of attending work with a hangover is too much for some employees to bear, then remind them that they can always book a day off and use their annual leave in advance. So it feels silly.
It's common sense.
It's common sense. And also, I feel like this isn't just an HR issue. This is a management issue. This is a workforce management thing. This is just going, look, do what you like. We trust you. You're an adult. But remember, just because socially everyone out there is celebrating and they might be being a bit more overindulgent, doesn't mean that you can play fast and loose with the hours that you've got here. Like, we still need to work. We don't care what you do. Just manage your time properly. Be an adult. You've got a diary. Let us know what you're doing.
Yeah, definitely. And like you say, it is common sense when it comes to it. Which probably leads us on to number 4, which is managing motivation. So, as in the festive period, it can be very fun. It can be stressful. There can be a lot of deadlines, like say, coming to the end of the year. And all of that, it can be tricky, isn't it, to manage your time and manage motivation to keep going. You might be burnt out at this point of the year.
A lot of people feel it, don't they? A lot of people come to the end of the year, they're really pressured on targets, they're trying to hit those, and then at the same time you're being asked, well, you need to think about next year because January's only going to be there. We can't start with nothing in January. We've got to be running full steam ahead. So people are like, I'm juggling too much. Often at the end of the year, you've got a lot of businesses that are trying to wrap up loose ends, and all these loose ends keep firing in. So you stop working on your main project, you start working on like 5, 6, 7. Because you're like, oh, we just got to wrap these up. It's like, no, we don't. And I think it's a real problem. Because, like, for example, I'm like a lot of people, I'm in a place where I'm planning a lot now, and all my time is working on what can I do for next year,
right?
While still wrapping up and showing that I've done work this year. But if I don't do that, then I can't help and plan for next year. And like people start to feel like they're being pulled in too many different directions.
Yeah, it must do.
Yeah.
And then on top of it, you've got people going, well, aren't you free on this day? And what are you doing next week? And your brain's all over the place.
And because people are feeling the pressure, you're going to get a lot more meetings now, cramming in all these kind of, we don't know what we're doing yet. Well, we had a meeting about it, so we can pick back that up in January.
We'll chat some more about it.
Yeah.
But no, managing motivation, I think, it's not probably just not a HR role, it's your manager's role, it's between the team as well. It's keeping everyone on track, isn't it?
Yeah.
Making sure that they've got that focus, that they feel it's manageable workload. Yeah. And if it isn't, that they feel that they can talk to someone about it.
Yeah.
So like you say, it's finishing the year in the best place possible.
Setting clear expectations about what you're going to be doing and what's there. Like, there's nothing worse than cramming everything in around December and then feeling like you're going to have to come back in January and still all these fires will be there and you're dreading it, right?
Yeah.
Actually, you can take the opportunity in December to go, let's pause and let's look at where the problems are. Let's communicate them so we can start the planning and get working in January as we need to, not just come back to a bonfire. You've put here as well, like holding team events is a good way to manage motivation. I think it works hand in hand, right? If you're doing socials, why aren't you taking the opportunity to have maybe like a team day where you're like, okay, we might still be in office, we might be in another room, we might be somewhere away from the office, but let's all take some time to check in, see how we're doing. Are we all on board with our plan for next year? Are we all on the same page? Can we make this a social event? Can we raise morale? Yeah, let's do that and then celebrate. You can. Yes. I think these things need to be done.
Definitely. So, on to number 5. We have handling holly jolly holiday clashes.
This kind of goes into a point we made previously, right? About like managers utilising employee time correctly in advance.
Yes, pre-planning, thinking ahead, or communicating. If you've got too many people taking holiday in 1 week, communicate. I'm sure that there'll be workarounds, but I think it probably is one of the biggest challenges when it comes to the festive period.
It's when kind of your manual processes start to show you up if you've still got them. Like we use
true.
Our software that we kind of push to other people, right? But it tells us when our team are working and when they're trying to book annual leave, we can make informed decisions about how we manage that workforce because we can see, Andy's hit off here, he's off there, he's off there. If he wants to take that time off, well, actually 4 people are off there. How do I manage that? How do I make sure the company's still running? Because just because we shut down for a couple of weeks in December doesn't mean the business can stop. We still need to work somewhere or another.
Yeah, but you touched on a quite nice point as well. It's being considerate of others, because underneath it all, if you are planning to take leave and someone else has it, or someone's left with very little leave to be able to take over the festive period and they want to see family, it can cause a little bit of distrust between teams. It might do. It's something that probably isn't brought up, but a lot of the time people are wanting the same time off. We're all busy, but again, it's just communicating. And like I say, maybe looking at softwares that helps that visibility of when people are taking time off, when they're available, when you can catch them to speak to them. And that sort of thing.
Equally, just so you can, as a manager, you can monitor how your team have taken time off. Because if you're getting to like August and you're like, okay, I've got 5 team members here, they've still got like 10 annual leave days they haven't taken. You're not all taking that 2 weeks before Christmas, guys. We can't. We literally will stop working. So you need to start planning now, not come to me in November and be like, that's what I'm taking off.
Yes, pre-planning is the key. So, on to the final, number 6.
You've got here, staying safe over Christmas.
Yes. So this is probably taking it a bit broader for HR and their challenges, but it's important that you're keeping your employees safe, whether they're in the office or out. Like you say, they might be out celebrating at a party, but it's getting your employees to be vigilant about where they are, who they're representing, and little things like here I noted that an idea is if you have an office party and you've got employees that are staying outside of the area, maybe quite a few miles away, making sure that you're covering the cost of taxis, so no one's left waiting on public transport, that they're getting home safe. Again, like we've kind of mentioned this previously, but in this stressful time, you know, they can have anxiety, depression over this period. So it's HR again, just being available to talk to or to offer resources that can help employees and make them just feel safer over this period.
I think it's a nice thing to kind of focus on, because there is a lot of other social pressures that happen around this time of year. People are probably feeling a lot more emotional. They're a lot feeling like financially it can be a lot more difficult over Christmas for businesses as well as employees. So how do you remind people that actually, you know, it's all year round, but also this is the time of the year where if you want to check in on your financial well-being, or if you want to support, or if you need, you know, want to check in with a mental health first aider, or look at what kind of support we can offer, that's what it's here for. Because you don't want to be feeling pressured at home or upset in your home life and then bringing that to work and then work contributing towards that. It can be part of the solution.
Definitely. So in summary, like we say, there's multiple challenges that HR have, but there are, there's technology that can assist, there's different resources, like say financial well-being could be quite a key one this month. But ultimately, what we're all trying to work towards is having December, which is end of the year, everyone's working towards targets, but everyone's feeling like they're supported. They're feeling like they have people they can talk to, they have the support of their teams, but you're enjoying it as well. You know, you've worked hard all year. You want to celebrate, you know? You don't walk through, well, I was going to say 365 days, but that would be quite intense.
Yeah, true.
That would be too much.
One of the points you brought here as well is obviously you got working hours, but also check-ins.
Yes, that is key. Yes.
It's no better way to end the year in terms of progress and how you've done and performance and making sure your team are working than just have a proper good check-in and be like, right, at the end of the year now, last week we'll see each other. How you doing? How you feeling? What can we mark down now? So you can make sure that when you come back next year, we've already thought about it, we've already discussed it. You can forget it now. You can let that out your head. You can enjoy your time off. Let's get this down on paper or on some kind of software that we're using to record check-ins. And let's let that go of your brain. Let's not let you have any anxiety or stress while you're on break. And we can just look at it in January. So check-ins are great. Good opportunity at the end of the year.
Definitely.
Cool. Well, I think that wraps that up quite nicely. I believe the only thing we're missing is a festive producer segment.
Oh, what could it be?
Do you have anything in your emails?
I do.
Oh, do you? All right, because I have nothing. All right.
Almost led you. Right.
Yeah.
So, let's see. So, after talking all things festive, let's get your take on some of the strangest Secret Santa gifts people have received over the years.
Oh, brilliant. Okay.
Are you ready?
I think so.
So, some pens from the office wrapped in newspaper.
Oh, that's cheap. If you are giving people office stationery as a Secret Santa, you've pocketed that 10 quid for yourself.
You've been down to the canteen with it.
Yeah. Oh, Andy's great. He got me a pack of printing paper, and I thought that was lovely. Cheap.
Cheap. Next one, a carrot sharpener.
I don't know how to read that. Whatever you like. Why? Is that a knife?
I don't know who would come up with that idea, to be honest.
Why would you use that in the office? Okay, fair enough.
Odd one. A little Christmas pudding and a packet of firelighters.
Someone needs checking in on, I think. That's the fuel and... Okay, yeah.
Lighters.
Right. Monitor that employee.
I would say so. Oh, no, this is bad.
Yeah.
Toothpaste and mouthwash.
Oh, no.
I
mean, toiletries are expensive, but also that's a hint, isn't it?
I don't know if it's a hint or that's just blatantly telling them.
Yeah, it's not a hint. It's like, oh, Merry Christmas, brush your teeth.
Try next year, be nicer. So, last one. Nothing. The person forgot my gift.
Oh, no. Is it nothing or did they forget? Because I've been there where I forgot last minute. And then you're like, you know what? What's the closest bottle of wine I could give them that I've already got in?
Oh, I thought you went for the pens and the newspaper.
No, that's not me. Nothing's bad though, innit? Thing is, with Secret Santa, you can get away with it, can't you? You can be like, well, I gave my person their gift. I don't know what you got. Oh,
we've got Amazon same-day delivery, haven't we?
Have we? I need to get on that, actually, for later. Good. Well, I haven't got you for Secret Santa, so you're safe. Don't worry.
No, same here. Few. Maybe next year.
Yeah.
We'll do one for the podcast team.
Thank you for listening. I hope you felt as festive as we have, talking about all things HR Christmas issue based.
Yes.
And we have one more episode for the end of the year. So hopefully you can join us for one more week as we celebrate everything we've achieved in the 2023 MHR podcast. Until then, I've been Andy.
And I'm Alice.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.